Right now, a felony arrest caught on camera. 4 teenagers removed from a car on Raymond Road connected to a stolen vehicle investigation.
And new information in a homicide investigation from this weekend in Janesville. Police today identifying a suspect.
And later, a new Amazon distribution center officially coming to Beloit. New details on the project and what it means for the people who will work there. Straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Madison police have arrested 4 teens after catching them in a stolen SUV Sunday afternoon.
And News 3 Now has exclusive video of the arrest as it was happening. Our Jamie Perez joins us with more on what we know about the incident. Jamie?
Well, all of those teens are now at the Juvenile Reception Center. Our Amanda Quintana was actually behind the stolen SUV as they were being arrested and caught the whole thing on video. Check this out. Now, Amanda said that while they were stopped at this red light on Raymond and McKenna roads, several cop cars pulled up and officers pointed their guns at this Honda CR-V in front of her. According to an incident report, this car was seen by police speeding on the West Beltline Highway. Officers did not go after it then, but they did see the car again later on Raymond Road. Police were able to safely take the teens into custody. The 15-year-old driving the car was arrested for driving without the owner's consent, fleeing, and eluding police. The 14-year-old boy and 2 13-year-old boys were tentatively charged with being passengers in a stolen car. Now, police were not able to say if this is related to any of the other stolen car incidents that we've had in the past, but this is clearly an ongoing problem in Madison. Last year, there were reportedly about 872 stolen car reports filed with MPD. Many of the cars were left running in people's driveways, had their keys in them, or were unlocked and made extremely easy for thieves to steal them. So this is just a gentle reminder to never leave your car running unattended, even if it's just for a minute, because it only takes seconds for someone to drive off with it.
Milwaukee police say a driver shot 2 children who threw snowballs at a vehicle. It happened Saturday night. Responding officers found the injured children, gave them first aid until they were taken to the hospital. The children, a 13-year-old boy, 12-year-old girl. Police say both suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Police are looking for the driver of a white Toyota who fired those shots. In Madison, police are questioning a teenager after he showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound last night. They say the 18-year-old has been, quote, less than cooperative and hasn't shared any details about what happened. There were no reports of shots fired in Madison prior to the victim's arrival at the hospital. He is expected to be okay.
Janesville police are actively searching for their first homicide suspect of the year. Sunday morning, a man was shot and killed outside a house party. Gabriela Becerra shares more on what police know at this time.
Janesville police say it all started with an argument between the suspect and the victim that ended deadly. When first responders arrived to the scene, the victim, identified as James Chestnut III, was lying in the road. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The suspect was not on the scene at the time, and police identified Corvacey Weaver as the suspect, and he has not been charged yet. Police are still searching for him and have not been in contact with him.
From our investigation, we learned that this is a disturbance and a disagreement between 2 people. So while we feel that Mr. Weaver is dangerous, we don't think that he would pick anyone out in random fashion.
Officials say Weaver is from Joliet, Illinois, and that local law enforcement from that area are also looking for the suspect. Janesville police are asking that if anyone is to see Weaver, that they do not approach him and that they call their local law enforcement. In Janesville, Gabriela Becerra, News 3 Now.
Janesville police say while they have already made significant progress, this is still an open investigation, and we will continue to keep you updated as we learn more.
Also in Rock County, police have arrested 2 people in connection to a shooting a month ago. On December 7th, deputies responded to a shooting on Highway 51 near Prairie Knoll Park in the town of Rock. 1 person was injured. Police arrested Ronald Hicks today on suspicion of party to the crime of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. On Saturday, Chicago police arrested Virgil Lee Tate Jr. on a felony arrest warrant for attempted first-degree intentional homicide.
To weather now, it was another beautiful day today, but temperatures will be dropping. Not too significantly, though. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your first alert forecast. Gary?
Tomorrow's temperatures will be about 5 to 7 degrees below where they were today. But as we take a look at the time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, Well, you can see just how much sunshine we had, at least over southwestern Wisconsin. Clouds started to move in later on in the afternoon, and they're starting to thicken up, but still they're pretty high, and a lot of the snow that you're seeing on Doppler track just not reaching the ground. Most of that is over western Iowa, not the precipitation in eastern Iowa. So by tomorrow morning, we could see a few flurries of snow. Otherwise, high temperatures today, well above normal. 43, the high in Madison. Milwaukee hit 44. Janesville at 43. Even to the north and west, Baraboo Dells Airport reached 38. Current temperatures are in the middle to upper 30s. Madison right now at 36 degrees. By tomorrow morning, we'll be in the upper 20s as the flurry chances come to an end early tomorrow morning. We'll turn partly sunny again with a high of 35. But colder weather's on the way for Wednesday, followed by a big warm-up on Thursday. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
The trial for the Milwaukee man accused of throwing acid in a Latino man's face in a racist attack will continue next week. Today, 61-year-old Clifton Blackwell was found fit to stand trial after going through a mental evaluation. Blackwell is charged with first-degree reckless injury in a case that's being prosecuted as a hate crime. It is unknown tonight if the Waukesha County Courthouse and Administration Building will reopen tomorrow after a bomb threat forced it to close today. Law enforcement has released these photos of a person of interest. The sheriff says an anonymous person called a Milwaukee TV station to say 5 bombs were going to detonate this morning. Dispatchers got a similar call moments later. On the first day back from winter break, Hamilton Middle School in Madison is offering additional counseling services after students lost a classmate there. Amy Gannon and her 13-year-old daughter Jocelyn were killed in a helicopter crash in Hawaii in late December. Jocelyn was an 8th grader at Hamilton. Experts say this kind of situation is difficult for kids because many of them have not experienced a close death.
President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, will be holding a campaign event in northern Wisconsin one day before the president himself will be campaigning in Milwaukee. Lara is married to the president's son, Eric. That event's scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Rib Mountain. State Republican lawmakers are trying again to make English the official language of Wisconsin. Senators Andre Jacques, Dave Craig, and Steve Nass's proposal would declare English the state's official language and require all state and local governments to write all of their documents in English. The senators are now seeking co-sponsors for the bill, which says English proficiency is vital to American society. Jacques and Craig proposed that same bill back in 2013 when they were both in the Assembly. The Republican-controlled state legislature asking a federal court to dismiss a lawsuit that seeks to prevent the purging of more than 200,000 registered voters in Wisconsin. Today, the legislature's attorneys asked the court to at least put the lawsuit on hold while a separate case seeking to remove the voters works its way through state courts. There are 2 lawsuits pending in relation to potentially removing the names from voter rolls. It is official. Amazon is coming to Beloit tonight. We're learning new details behind the project and what it means for the people who will work there.
Amy Reed shows us how the project is looking now.
With timing that seems to match their speedy delivery options, Amazon is expanding in Wisconsin, building this 1 million square foot warehouse distribution center in Beloit just a few months after they first looked into the idea.
Seeing this huge, gigantic building being built in such a short period of time will be kind of fun to watch.
Keep your eyes peeled off the interstate in Beloit and you'll see the beginnings of a building you likely couldn't miss again.
The largest space that we have in the marketplace right now existing is about 185,000 square feet. Their needs were for 1 million square feet. So this will be the largest building built in Beloit in over 50 years.
The new largest building is also anticipated to become the 2nd largest private employer in the area, bringing in 500 jobs.
Good jobs with great benefits, yes.
For future applicants out there, the company said they start at $15 an hour, give up to 20 weeks paid parental leave, health care on day 1, and assistance on tuition. The city thinks it will be a good influence.
I think it's incredibly important, the value of a household name right here in Beloit. Everyone knows Amazon.
Beloit is already at full employment with historic low unemployment. That's been pushing wages up, but they expect this will help too. It also might draw these future employees to live in the area, potentially putting more demand on housing projects in progress. City leaders see that as just another positive in an economic win.
We are beyond thrilled to be home to their newest fulfillment center in Wisconsin.
This construction work is set to finish up this holiday season, closing out the project in only 15 months. Reporting in Beloit, Amy Reed, News 3 Now.
Amazon is already eligible to receive tax credits from its other facilities in the state.
But they may be eligible for more from this development once those jobs have been filled.
Still ahead tonight at 6, for the first time since the shooting of Tony Robinson, we are hearing from the officer involved, Matt Kenny, and his new role with the department.
And there's more local news ahead. Tonight at 10, a deadline draws closer to file a candidacy for Madison school board seats. We're featuring one race that could impact the voice of special education students in the district.
For reliable weather day in and day out, watch First Alert Weather.
The Powerball jackpot for this Wednesday's drawing is estimated to be around $258 million after a winning ticket in Wisconsin was off by just one number from winning it all over the weekend. A $2 million ticket was sold at a festival food store in Marshfield. The winner matched all 5 numbers, but not the Powerball. The Madison Police Department is incorporating a new tool some hope can shape the future of policing and beyond. The most recent class of recruits is the second now to receive formal mindfulness meditation training during academy. Officer Matt Kenny, in his new role as a meditation teacher, is sharing with us how helpful the practice can be to cope with the stress of the job. Kenny, you'll remember, is the officer who shot and killed 19-year-old Tony Robinson back in 2015, setting off protests, though his actions were deemed illegal use of police force. Kenny says meditation can help future police officers downregulate between calls and improve performance.
We should be performing this job to the best of our ability. I mean, the citizens expect it, and we owe it to them, and we owe it to ourselves.
And tonight on News 3 Now at 10, Madeline O'Neill shares just how powerful meditation can be, not only for police, but also for those in the community affected by policing.
An 11-year-old boy from Sussex, Wisconsin died during his Make-A-Wish trip on New Year's Day in Minneapolis. It was Mikey Cherosi's final wish to shop at the Lego store at Mall of America. Mikey had brain cancer and his family knew his time was running out, but they had no idea he would make it home with them. His mom, Tammy, was there as Mikey took his last breath in a Minneapolis hospital.
The biggest thing was watching him die. That was the worst. Going from walking to not walking at all, to the point where we had to pick him up and move him.
Tammy says Mikey's battle with childhood cancer started about 15 months ago when he was diagnosed with a tumor on his brainstem. Remission last year led to a relapse just months later. Now the family is trying to raise money to get Mikey back to Wisconsin for a proper funeral.
Still ahead tonight at 6, it appears Mike McCarthy, the Packers' former head coach, has found a new job. We'll tell you where he is headed in sports.
But first, temperatures will not be as mild as they were today. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti will have his full forecast for the week ahead next.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us, and not a bad day today.
No, temperatures were again in the 40s. You know, this has been the trend so far. We haven't seen a day with below normal temperatures since December 18th, but that could change on Wednesday. A brief cool down is expected. Tonight, some snow flurries across Iowa heading in our direction. Most of this over northeastern Iowa not reaching the ground. Some of this is actually making it down to the surface. So I think the best chances of any flurries will be late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So that's when our best chances of flurries will be. It'll be colder for tomorrow with high temperatures dropping back into the mid-30s and just downright cold on Wednesday with high temperatures in the middle 20s. That day may average below normal. But after that, we have a quick warm up on Thursday. It'll be windy and milder with temperatures back in the mid 40s, and precipitation will be in the form of rain. Over the next 10 days, temperatures, like I say, drop to just slightly below normal on Wednesday, be back up in the mid 40s on Thursday, stay above normal through the weekend, although there are some chances for some snow Friday night into Saturday morning and Saturday night into Sunday morning, and another chance of snow in the Wednesday-Thursday time frame next week bears some watching, because that could be a little more intense storm. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center calling for equal chances of above or below normal temperatures here in Madison, but notice to our west, below normal temperatures. To the east, high probabilities of above normal temperatures. That puts us in an active storm track, and that's why above normal precipitation is expected over much of the country, including the Midwest. But from the Climate Prediction Center, or from the Climate Central, our friends there show us that over the last decade, since 1970, you can see the average temperature in Madison has gone from the mid-40s to almost 48 degrees over that time period. And across the United States, you can see how, compared to the average temperature through the 20th century, those temperatures have been steadily rising. As we get into the 2010s, those temperatures about 1.5 degrees above the 20th century average. So our climate has been changing, no doubt about it. Live view from the Skycam at the Edgewater Hotel in downtown Madison. Pretty quiet out there. High today 43, the low temperature 25. So you can see our low temperature is about where our average high temperature should be. And right now our temperature is 36 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy, winds out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the 20s in the northern part of the state, mid 30s to upper 30s here in southern Wisconsin. Not terribly cold for this time of year. And that's because our upper level winds are basically from west to east. We're not getting that big wind flow out of Canada. Even to the west, you can see the next storm system coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and we'll have a lot of mild Pacific air with it. That's why our temperatures will warm up pretty quickly as we head into Thursday. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly cloudy skies, perhaps a few flurries toward tomorrow morning, low temperature at 28. Tomorrow any lingering flurries lend, then it'll turn partly sunny and not quite as mild, also a little breezy with a high of 35. On future track, you can see those skies staying cloudy overnight, maybe a couple of flurries by early tomorrow morning, then we turn partly sunny tomorrow with highs in the mid 30s. Tomorrow night we clear out, temperatures start to drop into the lower teens and even some single digits to our north and west. High temperatures on Wednesday only in the lower to middle 20s. 7 to 10 day forecast. Got a quick warm up on Thursday with highs in the mid 40s with some rain. Then we'll look for some off and on snow chances through the weekend and into next week.
Well, it feels like it's been forever, right? It's finally game week for the Packers. So how are they getting ready for the Seahawks, one of the best road teams in the league? Well, the story next in sports.
News
Well, another Badger is entering the NFL draft. This morning, wideout Quintez Cephas said on social media that he will forego his final year of eligibility. Cephas coming off of his best season with the Badgers, where he set career highs and led Wisconsin in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Cephas is trying to be the first Badger wide receiver to get drafted since the Packers took Jared Abbrederis in 2014. And in a statement, head coach Paul Chryst said how excited he is for Cephas and says his personality will stand out as well as his love for playing the game of football. Cephas is the second player to declare for the draft this week. Jonathan Taylor did so on Friday. And center Tyler Biadasz and offensive lineman Cole Van Lanen, they have yet to make announcements on their decisions. And then there were two. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are the only starting quarterbacks left in the playoffs that have won a Super Bowl. That's the fewest entering the divisional round since 2010. Now, head coach Matt LaFleur's initial thoughts today, well, he is impressed at how well the Seahawks play on the road. Seattle is 7-1 away from CenturyLink Field. As for the Packers, the locker room pretty loose all of last week, according to Adrian Amos, and they're trying to keep it that way this week. Coach LaFleur just easing the guys back into the game week routine today.
Anytime you have a couple days off, you just want to kind of knock the rust off the guys and just get them out there running. We did some 2-minute situations, some stuff that we haven't hit on in a while, and so it was a good, productive 1 hour on the field.
And from the current coach to the former coach, Mike McCarthy has reportedly found a new home in Dallas. Fox Sports reporting that the Cowboys and McCarthy have come to a 5-year agreement. And there's already a defensive coordinator in place, Saints linebackers coach Mike Nolan. The two of them worked together in San Francisco in the mid-2000s, and McCarthy was quite the hot commodity these last few weeks. He also interviewed for the Panthers, Browns, and Giants head coaching openings. Well, it's definitely a different season so far this year in the Big Ten men's basketball. The Badgers just beat 5th-ranked Ohio State on the road, and they'll host Illinois on Wednesday night. And the Illini, they're coming off of a win over Purdue where they held the Boilermakers to 37 points in the whole game. And the Badgers, they've got a tough stretch ahead of them, playing 3 ranked teams after that. But head coach Greg Gard has not looked past Wednesday.
Whatever happens after Wednesday, we'll worry about that on Thursday. So I think anytime you start looking too far ahead, you get yourself overwhelmed, and there's no purpose.
And Eric Thames, he is heading to the Nationals. He was a free agent, and he has signed a 1-year, $4 million contract in Washington. The Brewers opted to decline his option for 2020, and he'll most likely be sharing some time with Ryan Zimmerman at first base. I'll kind of miss him. He was that big, kind of emotional spark kind of guy, riling the guys up in the dugout all the time. But he is gone.
Yeah, and Quintez Cephas as well. This is kind of what you expect when you go to a Rose Bowl. You have good teams.
Right.
You have good players, and they want to go make some money.
Exactly. And, especially coming off of the season that he had some great numbers this year, some key touchdowns, that Minnesota game as well. So you kind of saw it coming.
And linemen we got to watch next, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely hear about them coming soon. Yeah.
All right. Melissa, thank you.
Well, we see some snow flurries coming, but there's not a lot of them. You can see them pushing through Iowa. They look like they're moving to southwestern Wisconsin, but I'm not seeing any surface reports indicating that those flurries are reaching the ground. Otherwise, temperatures right now still above freezing, 36 in Madison, 33 Platteville, 36 in Janesville. And temperatures will be in the mid-30s for highs tomorrow, mid-20s on Wednesday, so a brief cool down. 44 on Thursday with a windy, rainy day, and then you can see those temperatures still staying above average, but some snow chances over the weekend and into next week as well.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.